What's up, guys? It's Brandy and mind explosion. For our video for today, I don't know who we is. Me. We are going to be talking about the last 3 episodes of Arcane, as well as the season finale, which is part of that. So we're going to be discussing episodes 7 through 9 in this video. If you aren't up to that point, you missed the past videos, I'll put a playlist up here so you can go check them out where I discuss the other episodes in the series so far. But oh boy, I just watched these last 3 episodes today and they were absolutely insane. Like, I didn't know where the series was going. I didn't know what to expect with it. Alright, so first off, we're going to be discussing episode 7, The Boy Savior. So just by looking at this title, I knew it was going to be about Echo. Or I just had a feeling it was going to be about Echo. And it definitely is. It starts off with you see, Vi and Caitlyn get captured, and you're wondering who they got captured by from the last episode. And it ends up being Echo and his, ragtag team of boys or whatever they are. And, obviously Vi and Echo have history, so they start to team up, and they realize that the true enemy down there is still Silco, regardless of what's going on up above in Piltover or everything with Hextech or Caitlyn or the Enforcers. Silco is the common enemy that they all have. And Vi and her, basically, they decide they have the blue crystal, the Hextech crystal, they get it from Jinx, and they realize, we have to give this back to Piltover, because if it's in the wrong hands down here in Zon, we're fudged. So they basically go to deliver it, and it never ends up happening because Jinx obviously shows up, and Jinx just throws a whole wrench in the plan like she's been doing the entire series. And this is her next time coming face to face with Vi and everything again. And she sees the relationship developing between Vi and Caitlyn and does not like it either. So Caitlyn's a threat to her. The whole episode comes to this huge fight on the bridge where these weird glowy bug things come and just explode. And Marcus, the one enforcer that's working with Silco and with everybody up above, gets killed, as well as a bunch of other enforcers. So it's bringing, Jayce is realizing there's an issue that is here and we need to solve it, and he doesn't want to use weapons or force to do it, or use Hextech as a weapon, but he's realizing he's not going to have any other choice. Then we come to episode 8, Oil and Water, where Vi is essentially realizing her and Caitlyn are vastly different. They come from vastly different worlds. Vi lived in Zon and is from the underground, and Caitlyn is this prim and proper enforcer girl who has family that's on the council. And they kind of butt heads a little bit. And the other really important part of this episode is Jinx pretty much almost dies in the last episode because of the explosion. And Silco tries to save her by bringing her to Singed, or I believe Singed. They don't really ever say his name, but I'm just assuming. And he basically is the one that's manufacturing the purple pink shit. And they injected it at Jinx to make her even more crazy, because clearly she didn't have a problem with that to begin with. So she gets injected with that, which makes her even just more insane. And then the episode ends with her being in Caitlyn's house. Then we get to episode 9, The Monster You Created. Which, this is when Jayce and Viktor finally realize Hextech gear is going to have to be weaponized to use against Zon. It's just, things are not going to work. And then Mel's mom from Noxus is getting involved, which I don't really understand her whole point of why she's trying to be involved in all of this, because it has nothing to do with her. I think just because she's from Noxus, she just likes war and fighting, maybe. So that she gets all involved with it. Jayce goes with Vi. Vi finally gets her gauntlets. Finally, they go down to Zon to fight and everything, and it all comes to this conclusion of Jinx ends up capturing Vi, and Vi wakes up and she's at a table where she's tied down, and Silco is at the table tied down, and Caitlyn is tied down because she captured her in the last one, and Jinx is psychotic with her gun and ends up shooting Silco and killing him, which is insane because that's her dad essentially. And she doesn't fall into Vi's lap either. She just kind of walks off This is it. We're not sisters anymore. I would love to be your sister, but I'm not the same person, which we already knew. Like, there's no way she's going to go back to Powder. She's just not that person. However, that begs the question of what about everything else that's going on in Dawn? If Silco is dead, is there going to be a riot because of him being dead? Are the other people that were below him that he was kind of keeping in check going to, like, explode? Or is this the lead up where Noxus is going to get involved and then Piltover is going to be fighting everybody? So that's pretty much where we leave it, which is insane. So in terms of, like, my reaction to what I think is going forward, I think they are potentially leading up to, like, Noxus potentially being, like, the next people they fight. Because obviously the whole, Piltover versus Zon is not done, the whole, even though Silco is dead, everything is not done. Clearly Heimer goes down there, he sees that Zon is in shambles and shit has hit the fan. He meets up with Echo and he wants to help them technology wise. Clearly there's still issues with the underground and they're still trying to make Zon its own independent nation outside of Piltover. Then the Council, on the other hand, is so power hungry, they just want to control everything. And basically, the episode ends. The very ending is Jinx shooting off her fish bones, which goes and hits the Capitol building where all of the council is having a meeting. And what I think is going to happen with that, because they're not going to kill off the whole council. That just wouldn't really make sense. So what I think, because Viktor was already, like, transforming, I think that he might blend with the Hex Tech, become the full Viktor that we know that's, like, all robotic, to save Jayce or to save all of them. I'm not sure. So I think that's going to come soon. And then on top of that, the whole thing with Viktor and the girl that had a crush on him that just, like, disintegrated into the abyss. What the fuck? What was that? What? So, like, this Hex Tech shit is so dangerous. So there's so many ways they can go with that. And then I think because the Hex Tech stuff is getting so dangerous, places like Noxus or potentially other factions are going to see the threat of this and want to contest Piltover. So I could see them branching out and Noxus and Piltover having an issue, and Piltover might even have to team up with Zon to take out Noxus. Or if they want to bring in other factions or other seasons to kind of, like, because they killed Silco, who was the main bad guy. So with him being dead, who is the new antagonist? That's the question that the end of this series gives us, is who is going to be the new antagonist for the next season. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe Netflix already signed on for another season. I think they already agreed to it. So we're definitely getting another season. Hopefully more episodes, because 9 was not nearly enough. And honestly, I feel really bad for Silco towards the end. Like, Jinx and him really had a relationship. He really loved her and cared for her like a daughter. And when he dies, it's like, honestly, I didn't really dislike him. Like, I knew he was the bad guy, but I didn't hate him. Like, there's way more minor characters that I dislike so much more than him. But for him to be, like, dead now, it begs the question of who is going to fill his spot of being the next villain for following seasons. So I don't know where they're going with that. I'm curious to see what ideas they have going through. If they do want to branch out and do more, bring in other factions or other enemies, the whole dynamic between Vi and Jinx can only go on for so long before it's like, okay, we've been here, we've seen this. So, like, Silco's dead. Who does Jinx have to protect other than Silco? The only other person she gives a fuck about is Vi. She doesn't care about anybody else. Like, there is literally nobody else in her life that she cares about. So, is she just going to keep fighting against Vi? Like, that doesn't really make sense. So, I feel like there's going to have to be a new villain that they're going to team up together with against. But it's also got to be a villain of, like, Caitlyn and Jayce and them, too. Because I don't see them turning on each other, per se. And there's so many more characters that we haven't seen. Like, I was hoping for Ezreal. Ezreal wasn't in there. I was hoping for Jhin. Jhin wasn't in there. There's a lot of other characters that could definitely be put in. They could have put Twitch in really easily and Zon. Like, there's so many characters they could have easily snuck in that they haven't. So that just makes me think that they are leaving the door open to incorporate these characters into future seasons, because they don't want to maybe put all of the characters in at once. So I'm hopeful for that. But I think that's really all I can really think of that I have. I'll probably have more thoughts after I finish this video, and I'll be in post-editing being like, crap, I didn't talk about this. But overall, I guess my rating for this show was so much higher than I thought. I'll probably give it like, I don't know, maybe like an 8 or a 9. Maybe like a 9 out of 10. It was so freaking good. I'm also very biased because I love League of Legends. So take that rating with a grain of salt because I have been playing this game for, you know, over 10 years now. But honestly, even as somebody who doesn't play League, like Bobby, my boyfriend, watched with me, he doesn't play League. And he was sucked into the series as well and really enjoyed it. So I would say even as somebody who doesn't play League of Legends, doesn't know any of the lore of these characters, you can still like and appreciate this show without that. So for anyone that's hesitant, give it a go. I know I just told you the entire show, so it's spoiled now, but give it a go. But that is all I'm going to have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked my breakdown of this, please let me know because I'm considering doing the same thing for The Witcher. This was easy to do because it was kind of broken into 3 acts. The Witcher is probably going to be like 8 episodes, so I'm not sure how I want to break that one down. I also have had an issue with trying to remember what happened in each episode exactly because I'm like watching 3 and then uploading a video, so I'm blending a little bit of what happens in each of them. So would you guys rather have like one big overall conclusion video or smaller breakdowns of a couple of episodes at a time? I would love to know your opinions on that. But again, that is it for me for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys!